Hello guys, and welcome back to a new video. Today we're gonna talk about something most traders ignore until it's too late, and something that is surprisingly underrated. It's not about your strategy or risk management, and not even psychology as we know it. It is something, I would say, way more silent than that. From the title, you already know it. It's mental fatigue. Alright? So, what do I mean by that? When you hear the term mental fatigue, you might think or say to yourself, I'm not tired, I'm just not in sync with the market lately. But let me ask you this. Have you been following your rules and still somehow making dumb mistakes? You sit at your chart and somehow you start hesitating, you enter late, you exit early, you don't properly set your stop loss, and you know better than this. You know that these are not the acts of a professional trader. You know it, but somehow you're acting like a beginner. So why this is happening? Why you are contradicting your beliefs? All right? Simply, your brain is out of fuel. And this video, we're going to expand on this topic, and I'm going to show you exactly how that happens and how it can ruin your trades and how I was able to fix it myself. Alright, so let's start first of all with the mental fatigue as a concept. So what is it? It's not just being sleepy, it's more deeper than that. It's when your decision-making system is overworked or overwhelmed. So the decision-making system is extremely critical when it comes to trading or when it comes to all critical fields out there. But in trading, we are forced to make a lot of decisions during the day. All right? And those, or the output of those decisions, can impact the next decision and the long-term play. All right? So think of it like this. Your brain is like a phone with over 70 apps open. Every candle you see, every chart switch from one asset to another, every time frame, every thought like, is this a trap? Is this liquidity? Is this a fake out? Is this a real breakout? Whatever. That's another app running by itself in the background, alright? And after a while, your brain starts slowing down, alright? It still runs, but not that well. And that's when you make those weird, irrational mistakes that don't even make sense later on. Later on, so I believe that you know what I mean right here, right? You take trades, and then 10 minutes later, you're like, why did I even enter that? It doesn't make any sense. It's just a stupid trade with one or two confluences. Didn't follow my plan. Why did I take this trade? I'm pretty sure that you went through this and know this feeling, right? So let's continue, and let me give you some clear signs that you know that you're trading with a burnt brain, all right? Overwhelmed brain. So you start your session, all right, and then 30 minutes in or 1 hour in, you start doubting every setup. You start hopping from one asset to another if you're trading more than one pair or one asset, and you start jumping from one time frame to another every 1 minute. You start hesitating on A plus trades, and then later on you take the dump B minus setups out of boredom or revenge because you have missed those A plus trades before. Alright, you start over analyzing, so you start drawing new levels every 5 minutes. You start shifting your buys from bullish to bearish just because you doubted the first buys, whatever. So these right here are not signs of a broken system. They are signs of a tired operator, the operator of the system itself. So your brain is trying to protect you from decision overload by doing what it always does when it's tired. It plays safe, plays scared, alright? No risk taking, you're not confident in whatever you are seeing, or you might go autopilot, and none of that works in trading. So why this is happening exactly? It's not because you didn't sleep enough or you didn't eat right during the day, although that might be a factor, but that's not the main factor right here. Mental fatigue mainly comes from decision exposure, a concept called decision exposure. So let me explain to you how that works. Let me give an example. Every time you sit in front of the chart, all right, and you're just observing price. I know you can relate to that. It's not your trading session yet. Maybe you are early 2 hour. Maybe you start trading at 9:30 New York session and you open the chart at 7:30 or 7 a.m. New York time, and you start just observing time. And you know that it is not the time that you're going to take trades, but you just observe or whatever, and you start seeing candles, you start imagining trades playing out, right? When you're looking at the chart, maybe this is a breakout, maybe you start telling yourself, would I enter from here? Would this zone can hold? Is this a real breakout or not? All right, just scenarios in your mind. You know you're not going to take any trades, it's not your time yet, you're just observing. But these are actually micro decisions, all right? And all of these micro decisions, they add up and they start draining your internal battery. And by the time your session starts and your real setups appears, you are already drained from all those decisions that you made and you didn't act on, all right? They're not just thoughts, they are decisions that you made earlier. And that's gonna make your mind tired. You start freezing, you hesitate, or worse, you might enter randomly just to feel something. So imagine two traders, one of them opened a chart and they did nothing before that related to charts or trading. Maybe they were on the gym, maybe they just woke up, all right? They had their breakfast, coffee, whatever, and they opened the chart and start trading. That's the first trader. The second trader spent 3 hours before his trading session looking at charts, looking at social media about other people's biases, going to Discord groups, getting exposed to all these trading strategies, these opinions about the markets, whatever. They were watching price for 2 hours straight, doing fake or virtual scenarios, all these micro decisions between these two traders. Who do you think is gonna do better on paper when it comes to trading? Like mentally, let's stop with the technical analysis or whatever. Mentally, first trader is gonna go in with the market with an internal battery level at 100%, right? The second trader is gonna be at 70%, 60%. So that's the difference right here. And that's what mental fatigue is. Now let me tell you how I was able to fix that. And I swear it was a game changer. It is a 4-step protocol, all right? And starting with step 1 is I reduced my inputs. So no more jumping between 10 time frames. I know my time frames. I have 3 or 4 of them. I know exactly what I need to see on each time frame. So I made a procedure to follow, all right? There is no Discord groups going through the chats and seeing what other people think. There is no social media, no Telegram groups. In my desk and my computer, there is only TradingView, NinjaTrader, and whatever tools that I need to trade, and that's it. I block everything else. There is no external factors, just me and the chart. Fewer inputs, all right? Leads to better decision and slower mental draining. Because too much information is like too many tabs in your browser or too many open apps in your phone. You can't function clearly or properly. And that's the first step, all right? Reduce your inputs. Step 2, I protected my mental energy like a resource, all right? I stopped doing those pre-market analysis for hours. I know a lot of people does that. Believe me, it is not necessary to do pre-market, all right? An A-plus setup is extremely obvious. You have taken that hundreds of times before. You don't have to do 2 hours or 1 hour pre-market analysis. You're gonna spot it in 5 minutes. So when you do those pre-market analysis, going through social media, trying to going through other people's biases, thoughts, whatever, you're draining your mental energy before the trading session actually starts. All right, I used to sit and stare at candles all morning before my New York session, all right, thinking that it's gonna help, but it didn't. All right, you're just gonna start making micro decisions, they're gonna start adding up, and you're not gonna start trading 100%. So now I only open charts when it's time to trade. Try it and see for yourself. Now going on to step 3, I added mental reset breaks. So every 45 minutes, every 1 hour, depending on price action that day, I step away, no screens, no charts, especially no scrolling or going through other people's ideas, all right? Even if it's just 5 minutes outside or away from your charts, away from your desk, it will reset the system. You might think that when you come back after that 5-minute break, you're going to continue from where you left, but it's actually not. It's going to feel like a new session. You will start feeling fresh, like you opened the chart for the first day, for the first time that day. So this will keep you focused and sharp and when it actually matters. Now going on to the last step, which is step 4, I simplified my rules into if and then or if and else. So I set conditions to myself. There is no more maybe entries. Maybe I can enter from here. Maybe I should wait for that. Maybe I'm gonna wait for another time frame to confirm that. No, I set conditions to myself. If this happens, I do this. If it doesn't, I do nothing. So compare this with the first thing that I talked about. The first thing that I talked about, when you start thinking maybe I should enter from here, or waiting for this to happen, or let me go check another time frame, another asset class, see if there is correlation, whatever. These are decisions that you are making, micro decisions, and these will drain your mind, all right? But the second scenario is you are only comparing. You already did those decisions when you set the if and else conditions, all right? Now you are only following them and compare what's going on in the chart and the conditions that you set to yourself. This way you're not going to make those decisions every single day, repeating those decisions. No, you made them once and now you're just going to compare and see what you're going to do. So that kind of clarity, it will save a lot of energy, because hesitation is really what burns your battery fast. All right, so to finish this video, you are not actually broken, you're just mentally drained. All right, and tired minds don't trade clean and they don't follow logic. And notice that this particular phrase, they don't follow logic. A lot of times when you did stupid mistakes, you take illogical trades based on your plan or your understanding of price, and later on that day, maybe at night or maybe the other day, you took a look at those stupid trades and you're thinking to yourself, why did I take these trades? It doesn't make any sense, and I know I shouldn't have taken them. All right, they don't follow any logic, but I did. The difference here is when you made those decisions, those illogical decisions, your mind was tired, so you weren't thinking straight. But when you close the chart, you came back later that day, at night or tomorrow, now your brain is well rested, all right? And you're gonna easily deduct that those trades weren't supposed to happen. They don't follow any logic. So this is the exact mental state that you want to be when you start your trading session. So when I start treating my brain like a limited resource, not like a machine that runs forever, everything started to change. I stopped forcing setups and I started seeing the chart clearly again. Not because I changed my edge, of course I worked on that a bit, but because I protected my mind. And that's the real edge most people never talk about. Now, I believe this is the end of this video, and if you have any other questions, you can always DM me in my Twitter account, or you can leave a comment down below and I will answer you as soon as I can. Now, happy trading and good luck.